Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dr. Forth, and we are continuing with the series about detoxification. And so we talked about detoxing in general, and also we went over the process of how the liver supports that. And so today we're going to talk about kidney function. Now, the kidneys, you have two of them. They're about the size of your fist, just tucked up underneath your rib cage. And they're responsible for filtering the blood and removing waste products. And so some of the things that the kidneys help us with, maintaining pH balance, appropriate blood pressure levels, getting rid of waste products in the blood, and also all of those materials that the liver took from fat soluble, processed, and made water soluble. Now the kidneys are going to filter them out and dump that water soluble waste into urine. And there's a couple of different ways that the kidneys remove these materials. First is filtration. Now, filtration is at the very beginning of the kidney processing area. And this is efficient for removing small to medium-sized particles that are water soluble. And when we filter out the blood with the kidneys, we also end up filtering a lot of things that actually we really want to keep in the body. So after we do filtration, we then reabsorb a lot of that material. Another mechanism that the kidney uses to clear waste materials is passive diffusion into the kidney tubules. So passive, it means it doesn't require energy to do that, but it's a very slow process. This is slow, but it's important for removing some of the fat soluble materials. Now, when I say into the kidney tubules, that means it's going from blood into the tubes in the kidney that are on their way to carrying urine out of the body. So we're talking about removing things from the body. So that's the passive diffusion. The third method is active secretion. So again, we're moving materials from blood into the kidney tubules, so it's going out of the body. Active secretion because it requires specific energy particle called ATP, cellular energy. And this ATP is produced by mitochondria in the cell. So we need to have energy in order to power the specific little transporters that do this movement. So we got to have energy. And also, there's only so many of those transporters. So if they're full, some of that material might still end up staying in the blood. So those are the three methods: filtration, diffusion, and then the active secretion using transporters and cellular energy. In order for the kidneys to work properly, we need to have good blood flow, as you might imagine. In one of my anatomy and physiology textbooks that I teach from, they have an awesome picture. It's kidney, and they injected the blood vessels with latex and then removed all the kidney tissue, and it still looks like a kidney because it's so densely packed with blood vessels that all of that latex material in the blood vessels, it still makes it look like a kidney shaped and everything. So, as you might imagine, blood flow is very important for kidney function. We also have to have proper hydration. Now, I could do an entire episode, and I probably will, all about hydration. It can be difficult to determine a specific set number of water volume for each individual person because there's so many factors at play. So there's some good guidelines to help you have a general idea. If you look at your body weight, and we need the weight in pounds. So if in your region you use kilos or stone, there's all kinds of converters. You could just do a search and convert that to pounds. And then you have that number in pounds divided in half, and that's how many ounces a day. And again, if ounces is not an appropriate volume measure for beverage in your area, you can go and convert that ounce number to whatever unit works better for you. And this is a good guideline for how much water you should be taking in per day. And of course, things like activity level, environmental conditions, and so forth, they can make a different impact. But that's something to think about. And also, if you find that, your recommended intake is much higher than what you're used to, don't try and get there all at once. Ramp up to your optimal hydration level. Otherwise, you'll just be spending all kinds of time in the restroom. It'll be very annoying. So think about that as you assess where you are and what your goal is. So hydration, and again, I probably need to just do a whole episode talking about that. Hydration's important, and cellular energy production. So that's going to depend on healthy mitochondria and also making sure that you are taking in adequate nutrients to support mitochondrial function. So those three things are going to be very important in determining how efficient your kidneys are for doing their job. There are a lot of different environmental factors that are going to determine the kinds of materials that your kidneys have to deal with as well. This can be from, the kinds of contaminants that are in the soil and the air and personal lifestyle factors and so forth. And we'll get into that more with future episodes. Today, I really just wanted to give an overview of the kidney and how the kidney functions properly. So again, to review, the kidneys are responsible for filtering the blood. And when they filter the blood, they do things like maintain appropriate pH, make sure that blood pressure is appropriate, and removing waste products from metabolism, including byproducts from medications and supplements and perhaps food additives like artificial colors and flavors that have to be processed and removed from the body. We talked about the different ways that the kidney does that and how you can support the kidney in its functions with appropriate hydration and making sure that you have good blood flow and mitochondria for energy. In future episodes, we're going to talk about the gut and its role, and also some of the different things that you can do nutritionally and so forth to support the natural detoxification processes of the body.